Hey! Welcome back with another video. Today we're going to be reacting to Lester Maddox and Jim Brown getting a heated debate on segregation. Just so you know, Trump rolled back the barriers on segregation, so it's back again. I don't really know if that's actually true or not, y'all. Y'all put it in the comment section if that's true, but if it is, dude, like, that's crazy. Like, wow. But I mean, even if he didn't, I don't know if he did or didn't, but we'll talk about it. Subscribe. Subscribe, turn on post notifications, and smash that like button. And let's get it. Let's go. Hop right into it. No time to waste. That was nasty as fuck. Hold up. I'm going to hit it, but I'm going to listen.
Governor, let me just ask you this right straight out. What do you understand racism?
Need my liquid death, man. Fuck it. I'm going to just get it right out of the For those of you who think I'm sponsored, not yet, but I'm going to get it.
Racism to me, how would you define that? Or segregation? Would you say you're a segregationist?
Yes, and I believe in my term, or my definition of segregation is that is a segregation is a person that loves his race enough, or other races enough, has enough of racial pride and integrity to want to preserve them. And I think a racist is one that doesn't care enough for his race or another race to where they don't care whether they're amalgamated or destroyed or not.
Could I ask the governor a question? Yeah. Are you familiar?
You see how people clapped? That back then, that was actually how things were seen. Interesting enough, like, and yet it's being rolled back on. Now, I wonder how many people would watch this video now and think what they think of it now. Like, what do you think of it now? Do you believe that Americans should still be separate? Or do you think we should all be together? And if so, I'm going to make a side question. Do you think tariffs are going to work if the country's not together to help build it? If we're separated like this?
Are you familiar with the black Muslims in this country?
Not too familiar with them.
Well, they practice black separatism.
Well, that's the reason I'm not familiar with them.
Good answer. Good answer. But to continue along that line, do you feel that what they're doing is right? You know, they believe that white people should be separate. They believe that they should have a state in this country. I think they felt that Mississippi or Georgia should be, you know, one of those two states should be the state.
I was thinking maybe they ought to make it New York.
New York, you think so? All right, I'm gonna get over that, Governor. You look too tough.
No, I think that forced racial segregation is criminal and unconstitutional, and I think forced racial integration is criminal and unconstitutional. I think either one of them is cruel.
You mean on a social level?
Any level, where it's forced.
Well, we do have like the laws. You mean when the laws are enforced, that if it involves integration, then it is wrong?
If it forces people against their will, against denying them their choice, to
Then you mean
separate or to integrate.
there should be an
It'd be just
exception?
as wrong if the law would be just as wrong to force them to integrate as it would to be to force them to segregate.
Well, don't you?
If a country can finally get to the point of saying, well, you're going to hire this person, you're going to promote this person, you're going to serve this person, then the same country can come right around and tell you, you've got to work for that person, you've got to eat with that person, you've got to be served by that person. And this would be cruel and wrong, but so it is when it tells another person that you've got to do this.
Well,
In a sense, he's right. Like, if you don't want to be around a certain group of people, you shouldn't have to be around a certain group of people. In a sense, he's right. He is.
the laws of the land tells us all what we have to do, basically.
That doesn't make it right.
Well, I agree with that. But
The Supreme Court goes outside the Constitution. That doesn't make the Supreme Court right, does it?
Don't you believe to have an affluent society, we've all chose to live in a society together? Don't you believe that to preserve that society that we need laws of the land? That's why we have a society. And we cannot make exception to these laws just because a person happens to be black or white. Don't you
We've
believe
got
that?
most of these laws because we don't abide by the laws of God, though. And so we try to go against the laws of God and against the laws of nature, and we say, well, you're inferior, and you're not going to be able to meet with success in education or in your social life, even in your religious life. life unless you do it with another race. And this teaches inferiority to me. And it's wrong and it's criminal and it's cruel to teach any one person that he is inferior to another race or his race is inferior.
But as governor of the state of Georgia, did you go by the laws of God or by the laws of the state?
I go by the laws of God and by the laws of the state.
As you see fit.
What is... No, not as I say. I said that to the governor. When you say it's morally wrong, integration, I believe that's what you said. I said forced segregation or forced integration, racial integration or forced racial segregation. They're both morally wrong, cruel, and they're in violation of the United States Constitution, which is the law of the land, not the Supreme Court ruling that denies the Constitution.
You know, I assume you know Dr. Billy Graham.
Sir?
I said you know Dr. Billy
Yes,
Graham.
sir.
He was here last night, and he
You know, it's interesting. Like when a law gets put in effect, it's almost impossible to get rid of the law, right? Was it a law? You know, Jim Crow were laws. They were laws. They were laws. Wow. Interesting.
said that racial prejudice is also morally wrong. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yes, sir. I think racial prejudice is wrong. Yes, sir.
University makes it possible.
Be unstoppable with a master's degree from...
Our government's probably practicing more prejudice today than ever practiced in all the land so far between the black and whites.
Mm-hmm. There was a quote that you made on the fight.
He just doesn't know any different. He doesn't know. He doesn't understand. I've always had to look at it like that. When I come across white people or people who just don't understand other people's struggles, they just don't understand. Like the comment section. The comment section here, I'm consistently like, I just understand. You guys don't understand. But it's definitely good talking to you guys, for real.
In Miami, that Muhammad Ali participated in with Jerry Quarry. And, well, not in Miami, but in Atlanta. But black people always felt that Atlanta was the model city of the South because of its integration and because of the participation in economics of black people. And your statement on the day of the fight was something like this, that it's a dark day in Georgia because this fight is being put on. Now, the law of the land says that a man can participate in his particular profession unless he is in jail. I felt very happy that this fight took place in Atlanta. How did you feel about it?
I felt very sad.
And why was that?
Here's a man that has said, well, here I want to fight in the ring for money, but I won't even wear the uniform of my country. He says that I can't do this, but in other words, I'm going to act different from these other people who stand up for their country and put on the uniform. Had they not fought for this country, if they were not even fighting today and wearing this uniform, that he could not even get in a ring and fight and be a free man to fight.
Isn't it true?
And interesting enough, he started off by saying it's okay to be separate. So you don't think it's okay for people to have, like, go deeper, separate ideologies from their country, like they don't feel like they're a part of their country, so they don't want to wear the flag or represent it at all because they feel like the flag doesn't truly fully represent them. You can understand people not wanting to be around certain groups of people. You think racial prejudice is wrong, but you couldn't understand why Muhammad Ali didn't want to wear that flag or wear that or go to war. You know, he didn't want to go to war because he saw that mostly black children that were sent to war aren't even appreciated by the country that they're in while they're in the country. So why would he go fight a war for a country that really doesn't appreciate his blackness?
He's helping to tear down this country with this philosophy, with this belief. Suppose every American, Mr. Brown, suppose every American had decided that they would not want to put on the uniform of their country, not fight for it. We wouldn't have a United States of America, and I couldn't be on your show, and you probably wouldn't even have a show tonight. If everybody had that attitude, and I don't like it, and I don't care whether you like it, don't care who don't like it.
I did serve my time, which, of course, I was a little before Muhammad Ali, and I was not maybe as intelligent as he is, because he was the first individual, I think, in this country that came out and said he had nothing against Viet Cong. I think there were two other politicians in the country that made a very similar statement later. The late Bobby Kennedy came back from Vietnam and basically said the same thing. At the time, it was not a popular stand to make, but today it is a very popular stand. In fact, we have a lieutenant that's on trial now for certain things that happened in Vietnam. But I am saying that this man followed the law of the land. He made his stand. He has been fighting through the courts. He has gone to the higher courts, and he will go to jail if he is proven guilty.
Well, I hope he does go. I hope that, because I think he's guilty.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Don't you feel that whenever a man goes through the courts, that he is abiding by the laws of the land, and that man who is willing to stand up with that decision is a brave man, regardless of what his beliefs might be? I know a lot of Southerners who, really like black people, and they portray themselves as being really segregationists, and they hate black people and so forth. But
I know some black people feel the same way, but I don't know any Southerners that don't like white Southerners don't like blacks. Do you know of any?
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. That's a very
Can you name one?
No, I'm going to answer that question. It's an interesting point.
It is, yeah.
They like black people, but they like them in a role, you see. They like them when they're very humble and they're very loyal.
I like humble people whether they're white or black, don't you?
I know, but you see...
Loyal people whether they're black or white, don't
white
you?
people
I mean,
have
you just
the
like...
choice.
You don't like
You
loyal
don't like the black people that have the choice, you see. It's only a matter of choice.
I want black people and white people to have choice.
Well, let me
You
ask
got it all mixed up. You're trying to twist it around.
No, I'm only trying to agree with you. Would you let me finish?
If you'll tell the truth.
Well, I'm only making an analysis, really. It's not a matter of truth or false. What I'm really saying is that basically history has proven that during the days of slavery, whenever a slave was more or less humble, and he did what he was told, that he was in good favor with the master. But whenever a slave was too educated, if he became aware of his own self and he wanted to become more than the master wanted him to become, then he was a bad slave. He was then put down because he represented a threat to the already established kind of white society.
Let me say this. Those situations are true with white people and black people. Now, you're just trying to point it at black people only.
Because
Alright, my bad, y'all back. Let's keep going.
There's been discrimination. Black against black, black against white, white against black, and white against white. There always has been, there always will be. And you're not going to wipe it out, and Mickey Dick's not going to wipe it out, and the Supreme Court's not going to wipe it out.
You're not addressing your answer to my question.
Mickey Dick. No, you know what I'm talking about.
Experience the women's tournament on ESPN with Spectrum. Watch the best teams.
Well, you know something, Governor? Believe it or not, I don't think that integration should be the number one thrust of our civil rights leaders anyway. Because I think what we're really talking about in this country is economic development of black people. Because I found
economic development of all people.
Well, we're talking about...
How come just black people? How come you don't do it for black people? How come you don't do it for white people?
I'll tell you why.
Huh?
I'll tell
How come
you
you don't do it for everybody? How come you always black people? You're talking about all people.
Can I give you an answer?
Can I understand the question?
Can I give you an answer? Do you mind?
Now go ahead. If you're ready, I'll give you time.
Okay, then. What I'm really saying is that there are some people that have suffered in this country, poor people generally, but let's say that we have various ethnic groups in this country that have attained a certain kind of equality. Black people are more or less, along with the Indians, on the last rung of the ladder. Can I finish, Phil?
Sure.
Can I finish? Okay, do you mind? Now, what I'm really saying is that I feel that the way to bring about equality of black people in this system is through economic...
He doesn't want to hear anything he has to say. Take that into consideration. Take that into consideration. The man doesn't want to hear anything he has to say. He just keeps bogarting. This is why the conversations can never move forward. He doesn't want to hear anything, and it's the same thing that happens today. White people don't want to hear anything black people have to say. And if white people would just listen, this would stop. It's not like fuck, not F Morgan Freeman, but fuck Morgan Freeman. Seriously, like not talking about something is what caused this problem to be the way it is. We need to discuss it. We need to understand each other's experiences. That's the only way we can get to a point. Does the white Lester Maddox have a point? He does. He has a point based on his experience, but Jim Brown has a point based on his experience. And people sitting in the same place should not be seeing things absolutely different. It's just not. It's not. You can't say that both sides are delusional. You can't say that. There has to be some truth in what both are saying. So it's to find that common ground within what we're saying in order to connect to something higher so that we can be better. You know, that's just how I see this whole conversation, literally. Like, because I understand, I experience what Jim Brown is experiencing. I know what he means. Lester has no clue because he's not one of us to know what it feels like to be black in America. He doesn't know what it feels like. Doesn't know. But he's white. And he has an experience, too, that we should try to listen to and understand as much as we can.
White people. Now, I'm going to interrupt you every time you keep calling black people.
Well,
I'm not even part of all people.
If you interrupt me, Governor, I can't talk to you.
Well, you're just going to talk about black people, don't include all people. I try to include all people. You're just interested in the black. Why don't you tell these people that in Atlanta, Georgia, where you keep talking about the South, that the percentage-wise, more black people are professional business people, industrial leaders, more of them in our state house elected officials than any other state in the country.
Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt
Be all right, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. See, I'm not really here to fight with you. I'm only trying to have a discussion with you.
I'm not going to
But
fight
I'm trying,
either.
and I'm trying to use the technique.
There's a lot of people out there watching you, and I want you to be fair about all people, not just black people. We have a lot of people in this country.
I can understand that, but you do know I have a reputation, right? And I saw
I don't know about it. Tell me what your reputation
I saw
is,
you
huh?
bring that state trooper back there, you know, behind the curtain. I know you brought it back there for a reason. That's not my purpose tonight.
Now, here you go trying to get you. Well, you let me tell you this.
Would you like to join this conversation?
No, I'm going to say this now.
I would like.
Let me say this.
Would you let Dick talk a little
Well, I
while?
got to say this. No, I'm going to let him talk right now.
Before I got on this
Because I got a state trooper like all the other governors in the country carry one, and they're required in the state government since the governors have security personnel. So I carry one of them. I didn't even know you would be here. It was a surprise when I came here tonight and found you would be here.
Wait.
I've never traveled anywhere in the United States since I've been governor. No other governors travel without one security personnel. Some of them have 3 and 4. I carry one man as an aide, not as security.
Governor Maddox,
Are you afraid because I came up here with an aide?
I've forgotten what my voice sounds like. Governor, I don't want you to create the impression that you were trapped in any sense. But I mean, it's been known for some days that Mr. Brown was going to be here. We didn't actually trap you, did we, into coming in?
Well, I want you to
So the governor just lied.
know that I didn't know he was going to be here, but it wouldn't make no difference because you invited me and I accepted the invitation.
Yes.
But he said something about I know his reputation. I don't know Jim Brown. Who is Jim Brown?
Let me introduce you.
Jim Brown was keeping some true self-control throughout that entire conversation, and it does take that sometimes. You have to keep self-control, but at the same time, like you gotta allow people to speak and understand their perspective. He's a politician. He knows how to speak for that all people type conversation, in a conversation where we're like I know people are gonna hop in the comments and jump me for saying this, but I just want you to think about something. If you go to a rally that's about cancer, and we're talking about cancer, do you really jump up and say, what about COVID? If we go to a rally that's about COVID, do you jump up and say, what about cancer? If we go to a rally about women, would you jump up and say, what about men? If it's about women, when we go to a rally about blacks, would you jump up and say, what about whites? What about everybody? It's always a what about when the topic comes up about slavery, Jim Crow, and the things that our community has been subjected to. We wouldn't go to anything that has to do with white people either and do the same thing. What about everybody else? If there's something that's affecting the white community, like, for example, unaliving themselves, right? That's something that we need to take care of. That's something that we need to focus on and we need to get involved in with care and love. You know what I'm saying? But that same principle should apply to everything else. Like, I don't know. It should apply to everyone else in their scenario. When it says Black Lives Matter, you don't hop up and say all lives matter. Like, did you notice, like, I want to say this too. Did you notice, like, when Black Lives Matter came out, it was a big backlash, big push from everybody else, right? But when it said stop Asian hate, when that was going on, there was no pushback from anybody. It was no like, oh, stop all hate. No, it was stop Asian hate because at the time that's what was going on. I don't know, you guys. Well, I mean, we could talk all day about this, but I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. Peace.